How do you give value in advance and just throw it out? This is easy for large brands to do. If you're Coca-Cola, right, you can shoot a video of a bunch of people on a hilltop who just want to give the world a Coke and put that out and be like, you're welcome, planet. Because you're like a multi-billion-dollar company. Whatever you spent on that commercial was what you spent on paper clips. It's a rounding error, right? It's not that big a deal. How do you do it when you're a startup? How do you do it when you got to worry about paying the bills? How do you do that? That's what I want to finish with, is how you do that. First, a story. So when I was a kid, we used to go down to the beach all the time with my dad. And one day we were cruising down the beach on a hot July day, and the sand was real loose. And so we're cruising around in his Mitsubishi Eclipse, not exactly a great beach vehicle, and we get stuck. Car gets stuck in the sand. Over the dunes, like coming out, here bebops this guy, and we're like, hey, you guys stuck? Yeah, we're stuck. Oh, you want some help coming out? Yeah, sure, God, we love it, thank you. What a wonderful coincidence that you just happen to show up right now. Gets out of his car, starts to hook it up and says, oh, hey, by the way, I'm not a professional towing company, so I can't, charge you for this, but I'd certainly appreciate it and maybe work a little faster if you'd, maybe show me some love. Give me a little tip. You know what I'm saying? Now, being a kid, I didn't know exactly what he was saying. My dad knew exactly what he was saying, and my dad's thinking, I want to kill you right now. Here you got me and my kid in this situation, and you're choosing to take advantage of it. You're choosing to be transactional. That, more times than not, is what direct response and what selling feels like to the end user. That's what it feels like. Okay? But what if instead the person comes up and he says, hey, you want me to hook you up? Yeah, cool, thanks. Pulls out. Now, what do you think my dad's going to do in that moment? He's a good man. What do you think he's going to do in that moment? He's going to, hey, how much I owe you for that? Thank you so very much. Of course, right? That's what some value in advance looks like, right? Now, if you're just some guy who happened to be driving by that day and you got a new winch on your truck and you're looking forward to try out the new winch on your truck because you say the word truck and not truck, then you're excited, right? To pull, you don't need money. If you're a trucking company, if you're a tow company, you can't rely on the generosity of strangers. It's difficult as a business to sustain yourself relying purely on the generosity of strangers. Do you know what they call those types of businesses? Non-profits. Do you know why they call them non-profits? They're typically not profitable, right? They're begging, they're asking, please, we've been given and given and given and given. Okay? So how do we balance that? How do we do that today? How do we give value in advance, honestly, sincerely, but know that it's going to come back later? Well, let's say this guy's Jimmy, right? It's Jimmy that pulled us out, right? So Jimmy does it. My dad offers a tip. No, sir, thank you. It was my pleasure. Really happy to do it. Hope you folks have a good day. And Jimmy drives off, right? Now, Jimmy didn't make any money off of that, but Jimmy's okay. Now, let's say back behind us watching this whole thing go down was like some beach bum dude, like Jimmy Buffett's third cousin kind of thing, right? And so he comes sauntering up after watching this whole thing go down, and he says, oh, I see you met Jimmy. Oh, yeah, was that his name? We forgot that's his name. Yeah, local boy, good kid. Such a good kid. Doesn't surprise me at all that he stopped to help you guys. He is such a good kid. You know what? What I bet would be cool. Where you guys? Do you have dinner plans tonight? No, we don't. Jimmy's a waiter down at Shell's, little Italian restaurant down the road over there. Some of the best food on the island. I bet Jimmy would think it'd be pretty cool if you were to go there for dinner tonight and ask to be seated in his section. I bet he'd get a kick out of that. Now, let me ask you a question. Gobs of relational equity built up, right? How big a tip is Jimmy going to get that night? Do you think he's going to get you 15%? No, Jimmy's going to make more that night than the dude that owns a restaurant from us, right? So how do we do that? How do we do that? How do we ensure that there's someone lingering on the beach walking up to us in flip-flops talking about us after we've done our good deed? It's called retargeting. How many of you have heard of retargeting? Okay. We've all heard of retargeting, and most of us think about it, and those of us who have experienced it, it feels a little bit creepy, right? Because the way that it works, if you haven't heard about it, retargeting is when you go to a web page, right? You visit a site, you go to leave that site, and now all of a sudden these ads are following you all over the web. Anyone experience this? Yep. It's creepy when you're doing stuff like shopping for underwear, right? This happened to my wife. She was like buying me some new underwear, and I go to use her computer, and there's like just dude's junk just all over the place. I'm like, honey, what are you? She's like, I swear I was buying you underwear. I'm never buying that for you again. You are buying your own underwear. This is ridiculous. And I was like, believe me, I don't want you looking at that either. I can't compete with this. So this isn't good for anybody. So that's retargeting. So we've experienced it maybe as a user, and maybe we've tried it. How many of you guys have active retargeting campaigns going right now? Not nearly enough. Hopefully they'll convince some of the rest of you to do this. So Google does retargeting. Facebook does retargeting, right? So if somebody goes to your website, any website, now they can start seeing your ads on Facebook. And you know they're relevant, you know they're targeted because they were at your site. It's great. And people use them for follow-up all the time. Oh, they came to buy this product. They came to this product page, but they didn't buy, and so now I'm going to retarget them to get them to come back and buy that particular product. That's how everybody's using retargeting. Here's the strategy that we've been using for the past 12 months, all right? Instead of driving ads to product pages, we're driving ads to pure content, pure unadulterated content. So we'll drive ads to a blog post, like a real live blog post on a blog, not a fake blog post, not a blog post disguised, sales that are disguised as a blog post, like a real blog post and everything. Now, are there ads around it? Sure, because it's a blog, right? That's not weird. But the purpose of that particular blog post is not to make a sale, okay? It's not, right? The purpose is to set, well, there's twofold purpose. The second one I'll talk about in just a little bit. But the main purpose, the most, tactical purpose, is to set that retargeting pixel, okay? To set that retargeting pixel. And that's as simple as dropping a couple lines of code onto the top of this web page. Google has that code. Facebook has that code. Other networks have that code. You drop it in once at the header of your site, boom, it's on all your pages, right? Now they know, hey, this particular person came to an article about blogging. Let's show them some ads about blogging. Then, only after we've delivered value in advance in the form of good content, do we then say, look, come over here and opt in for the special report. We get transactional after we've been relational. Gave them some good content, showing them an ad, getting them now to come back. Now, the risk here is you're buying traffic to primarily non-monetizable page. Again, there's ads, there's links going off, stuff like that, but that doesn't convert in any way to overcome the investment. So in the beginning, it feels a little bit scary. But then there's Jimmy Buffett Jr. following them around, and now when they're seeing your ad, they're not thinking, who is this joker? Why is this person in my feed? Let's talk about poop again for a minute. A few years ago, when we first started doing retargeting, somebody hated our advertising so much that they literally took a picture of their own feces and posted it as a comment. Disgusting, right? And Molly, the girl who runs all of our traffic, the one who's like, yeah, wah, just make a sound effect. She's like, oh my God, you have to see this. I was like, Molly, why didn't you just delete it? She's like, it's hilarious. Like, no, they really hate us. They're taking pictures of their feces and sending it to us. Like, you do that to your worst enemy. They really, really hate us. Right now, you go and look at the comments on our ads, and people are saying, oh my God, these people are amazing. These are great. We got positive comments on our ads. Nobody else has that. Why? Because we gave value first. Okay? So the goal isn't to convert initially. It's to indoctrinate, engage, and hopefully amaze. It's to fund up the relational equity account. That is the goal of this type of campaign. That's the goal. The conversions happen later. We drive traffic to content, we set the pixel, then we advertise to our pixeled audience. We advertise to our pixeled audience. We ask people to do an action, and a small action, right? A small action. Hey, give me your name and email address, and I'll give you the special report. But make no mistake, give me your name and email address, and I'll give you this special report. That is not value in advance. That's quid pro quo. That's, look, give me $20 and I'll pull you out of this hole. Okay? So don't pat yourself on the back thinking, oh, you're a hardcore content marketer delivering value in advance because you're asking people to give you their name and email address in exchange for a report. That's a transaction. That email address has value. Give actual ungated value in advance, but don't do it out of hope. Do it because you know that the retargeting is going to help. So goal number 1 is to set a retargeting pixel. Right? That's the primary goal of this traffic campaign. And yes, the content must be good enough that they love you for it. Okay? If all you're doing is driving traffic to really crappy content, you're spending money to convince a whole lot of people that you don't know that you suck. Okay? Yeah, it has to begin with good content, or this whole thing breaks down. All right? Really great, extraordinary, awesome content. By the way, an interesting aside, you know what started happening to all of these blog posts when we started driving advertising to them? What do you think started to happen? Skyrocketed in the organics. Skyrocketed in the organics because we had people going and looking at them who are purposeful and excited about it. It was a nice little side benefit that we didn't think about. At the end of the day, our average cost per lead was lower. We were prepared for it to be higher, thinking that the quality would be better. At the end of the day, while we had to spend a little bit more, the average cost per lead was about 80% less than what we were doing driving traffic directly from an ad to a landing page. Even though we were technically buying that click twice. You guys see that? Once to get them to come to the content and set the retargeting pixel, and then again to get them to come to the landing page. We had to pay for it twice, and yet the average cost per lead was less. Think about that. And then realize that, yeah, that makes all the sense in the world. If I see Jimmy, he's getting a bigger tip because he actually delivered value in advance. So once that pixel's set, you can follow up with them even if you don't have an email address. Across all of our different companies, we have millions and millions and millions of emails on file, millions of them. And we mail them. We also have a pixeled audience that's millions and millions and millions of people strong. And that owned media, that pixeled audience, those people that have our retargeting pixel on them, I'll take it. That's one of the most valuable assets in this entire company. So retargeting is how we balance branding and direct response. Retargeting is not how we creepily follow our people around who haven't bought yet, saying, how about now, 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 how about now? That's freaking weird. If somebody did that to you in real life, you would punch them in the face, right? Has anybody seen, remember Groundhog Day? Right? Remember the insurance salesman that keeps walking up to him? And eventually he just what? Punches him in the face? Because he's been living this again day after day, right? That's what they want to do to you too. So don't say, how about now, how about now, how about now? Here's some value. It's how we deliver value in advance without going broke in the process. So the big lesson that I hope you get from this, the future of traffic isn't about who can get the most clicks the cheapest. It's about who has the most people pixeled. People tell us all the time, Ryan, everywhere I go, I see your ads all over the place. Do you know who they're not seeing? Our competitors' ads. Understand this, guys. The great pixel land rush is on. There are going to be those who win because they have the most people pixeled, and there are going to be those who lose because they didn't do this. They didn't see the value in this. And they're going to want to go out and they're going to want to buy advertising only to find that all the inventory is taken. Okay? The great pixel land rush is on. You're either running or you're going to get squashed when that happens. That's why, for me, the most important metric isn't CPM. It's not cost per click. It's not cost per acquisition. The future of traffic is CPP, cost per pixel. How much am I willing to spend to set a pixel? All right? How much am I willing to spend to set a pixel? But remember, see all these things in context of the original question that I gave you. Am I adding money to the, am I making a deposit of relational equity, or am I making a withdrawal? If you're running retargeting campaigns that make deposits, you're going to have a business that's here for the long term because you deserve to be here, because you're giving value in advance. That's all I got. Thanks, guys.